Okay, this is a series of videos I'm hoping to do about the first 5 minutes of various computer games. So the idea is to see how effective each game is during its opening 5 minutes, where it's meant to be making the best impression on you. So I'm going to kick off by looking at this game called Proteus, which, as you can see, is by a couple of guys, and it's this little indie thing. Came out a couple of years ago. It's very expressionistic compared to most AAA games. So let's take a look. I'm going to start the clock and we'll have a look at exactly what Proteus is. So the idea of the 5 minutes is 5 minutes from the moment you click start game. So here we are in the middle of the ocean, and there's not much going on. Initially it appears that there's actually nowhere to go, but if you look into the far distance you can see just the outline of a tree and maybe a beach. We can look around here, see what's going on. You can actually walk in any direction you want, but as you can see there's nothing else to be found. So this tiny hint, this little low contrast view of an island in the distance, that's very much where we're supposed to be going. So let's go and check it out. Movement speed in Proteus is really slow. In a lot of other games this would be agonizingly awful, but in this game it works kind of well, as you'll see as we go along. It's a very sedate game, and it encourages taking a while to look around. So now that we're closer, you can see the island is starting to take shape. This cloud has come in out of nowhere, started raining. I think that isn't scripted or anything, it's just something that's happened. The island is always slightly procedural, so every time you start the game, the island will be different. There's no kind of learning where everything is. It has the same feel each time, but not always the same. So the look of the game is really lo-fi. If you're used to big AAA fantasy blockbusters, this doesn't look that impressive on first glance. But let's take a few steps onto the beach and see what happens here. So you can hear the music kicking in, and this is kind of the secret to the charm of Proteus, in that everything that happens is very reactive. It's always changing its mood and its soundscape based on your actions and where you are and what you're looking at. So you can see I bumped into that stone and it made a funny noise. You can check out this tree with lovely twittering birds, and everything you do has this kind of responsiveness, so it feels like you're playing music based simply on how you're exploring the world. So from the top of this hill we'll have a look around. You can see the ocean down there, there's clouds heading over towards that hill. We'll head in here and see what we can find. And we found what appear to be some chickens. So we'll go and check these things out and see what happens. So again, it's that kind of responsiveness where every part of the world interacts in some way, whether it's wild animals running away from you, or trees and objects making curious noises. There's always something to go and explore, and then an interesting reaction when you get there. There's no particular purpose in Proteus. You can see we've got no story, there's no objective, no kind of quest. All we have is this mysterious island. But what you will see is that the sun here is very slowly going down. So there is a sense of the passing of time. That's quite important as things progress. This isn't just a static world to wander around. There is time passing with some sense that that will change things as we go along. So let's check out this path up here. We'll head up onto this hill and see what we can see. Pretty much anywhere you go in Proteus, somewhere on the horizon there'll be something interesting. So for example, up this hill, as we climb up the mountain, you might have caught a glimpse of a couple of peculiar statues up there. Let's go and check it out. So you can hear as we rise higher up the mountain, the music becomes more relaxed, fades away, we just hear the sound of the wind. We'll go and have a look at these slightly creepy statues up here. These things aren't explained, they don't have any kind of lore to discover. You don't know what they are, but they're evocative of something. Something that used to be here on this island, some kind of civilization. You can see the sun's going down, the lighting's changing, the mood's changing. It really, Proteus is all about mood, and it's very expressionistic, like I mentioned at the start. So let's head off this snowy mountain back down to the valley. I don't know why more games don't go for this expressionistic look. I think part of the problem is that in a still screenshot, it doesn't look that impressive. If someone showed you this view in an image, you might not think much of it. Once you see this world moving and in action, you hear how the audio is completely tied in with the visuals and what's going on. It becomes slightly magical, and it has a real charm to it. And I think it is more evocative because of the lack of detail. It encourages your imagination to start filling in the blanks. This looks like it might be some kind of graveyard. Very few things are explained. It raises questions. It feels like this world had a purpose at some point. See, here we have a really big tree in the distance, so let's head down into this forest and go and have a look. See behind the trees there, the moon's starting to rise. Proteus is an interesting, mysterious world. You don't necessarily know what's going on. Each time you play, something different will happen. See, the stars are coming out now. You see there's some sparkly lights up here. There's an owl. Nothing is ever explained in Proteus. You have to discover things for yourself. Every single time you play it, you'll discover something new, something that you hadn't seen before. You can see over in the distance there, what appeared to be stars are now drifting down towards the ground. Like I was saying, there's no point anywhere in the world where you won't find something interesting. Whether it's a giant tree or some statues, or even, as you can see over in the distance, those stars drifting down towards the ground. And that's the end of the 5 minutes. So that's 5 minutes of Proteus in which essentially nothing really happened. But if you're anything like me, you're captivated by this world. I highly recommend you go and check it out. It's a very cheap game, and it actually only lasts for about 20 minutes. It's a very short game, but like I say, every time you play it, it's procedural, something different happens. It's unlike anything else. You can see the wind starting to build up here. This is probably the first game that had wind in its trees properly, other than before The Witcher 3 came out. Anyway, we're going to leave it here, because I don't want to spoil what happens. Suffice to say that there's a lot more fascinating stuff still to happen. So if you're intrigued, go and get Proteus and give it a whirl and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.